So the show with the showstopper.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Super Friends Sunday Super Show with,
Of a reunion.
Locke, Sunny, and Jam. The old crew's
Yeah.
back, finally. We've all been busy the month of October. Today's Sunday, October 12th, by the way. If you're joining us live, thank you for doing so. And if you're not, and if you're watching this later on, we're going to talk about some games and what's going on. A big thing for me is Halloween. I think it's the best holiday. I know Sunny's almost there with me, but
I like it, but I wish it were with a face like mine who needs Halloween.
that's right. every day is Halloween. So, really though, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff because we haven't been in the same virtual room together for a while. So let's start out. First things first, guys. What tea are you rocking this morning?
I'm not drinking tea.
Like,
I'm rocking a
Sunny's never
police
been on a show
tea
where we've
shirt.
talked about tea.
Oh, he hasn't. Oh,
a T-shirt.
yeah, T-shirt, right? Jam?
Yeah, nicely
Jam,
done.
what do you got?
I was drinking some Countess Grey, but I finished it because we started ages ago and we were waiting for
Sorry,
Sunny.
yeah. Well, I refilled again my jasmine pearls, so that gets me
Ooh,
through.
Jasmine Pearl. That's always good.
Well, that's all well and good if you like talking about tea, but what if you don't?
Then, well,
Then
we can
you
talk
have no
about
place on this show.
your run. How was your run?
I had a good run, and I had a good shower as well. This is not sweat.
You look better wet. It's okay.
Thank God for that.
No, I've just been cranking out stuff with the help of many other people doing the Halloween horror thing. So far, we're about a third through, with such features as we talked about Harvester, which was kind of funny. Sonny, did you ever play Harvester?
No, but I remember last time you talked about Harvester,
Yeah.
and the time before that we
Yeah,
talked about
see?
Harvester, and
Have
I
we
said,
talked about
"Boy, I
Harvester?
really need to play Harvester."
We've
should-
talked about it before.
Oh.
You see, no one forgets we've talked about Harvester except Locke, so he just keeps talking about
Hey,
it.
what's the weird thing is that game's about amnesia too, so maybe I'm just playing a trick on you. Sonny, first things first though, I want you to take us through Alien Isolation.
It's really scary and really fun. The game has the flavor. You may have heard me talk about it on a different show, the Games Only podcast, but Alien Isolation looks like the 70s movie. It looks so good. It's perfect. It's got that retro sci-fi. You know, when you were young and you would read science fiction books and they'd have illustrations and you say, everything looks so awesome.
Yes.
This is like, they gave you a world of that. And you're like, yes. Of course, it's the kind of drab, depressing world of Alien where there are giant cities in space that just sit there with no life in them, things like that.
Awesome.
But man, everything's spacious. There's lots of brown and orange, buttons that just are lights that you push. It's so pretty. It's so nice. And things that look like old typewriters, but they're really computers. It's got that keyboard style. I don't know. Everything it looks so good. Like, art direction wise. I mean, I'm playing it on PC so I can make it look as good as I want, and it looks great. Whatever. That doesn't really matter. Haven't touched any of the console versions, but I'm sure that they look just fine as well. But man, the art direction it's so good. And the first hour to almost an hour and a half is kind of like just a little guided tour. You don't have any enemies, and you're exploring, and it still manages to be very intense.
That's cool.
Is that
I hate-
tactic for the immersion to sort of just warm you up to this, what's going on?
Well, yeah, I think that it's partially they want to lull you into that kind of sense of security where you're not looking for enemies, you
Right.
know. That's kind of the idea, is to make you comfortable in that space so that when one does show up, you don't necessarily know exactly what you want to do. I mean, every once in a while you'll find like a locker that'll say, hey, you can hide in here. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, there will be trouble later and I'll have to be back here, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, there'll be other crew members. You'll be playing hide and seek, and this will be
Yeah, who knows? But it
whimsical
just,
time.
really captures the feel of a giant derelict space station that has some people in there, maybe, and it might have some crazy things in there as well. But they don't beat you over the head with multiple aliens. From what I hear, there's only one alien in the whole game anyway, and you have to worry
Yes, I
about it.
heard that.
And I like that. I really do. With the movies, the first Alien only had one alien, and then
Yeah.
the second one had zillions of them. And while I really love the second Alien movie, that was a really good movie. It was totally different. So I'm kind of glad that they took the approach of the first one in this one. 'Cause
Can I ask? I love the Alien series, the trilogy, sort of more so than the afterthought movies, but do they nail the alien in this? Are you like genuinely not terrified, because I know it's very difficult, someone of your stature to get scared, but are you feeling that dread?
Yeah, I certainly am. They did a real good job making it feel like it actually has weight. That's something that also the movies kind of. I always kind of thought that they were sort of hollow because they didn't necessarily do a great job of conveying that these are heavy things, and you just think that they're like hollow bugs, and if I shoved them really hard, I could probably push them away, which is how I always felt, and maybe that's not how you guys felt, but in this one, it actually has some weight to it, and like its tail just like stuff like that, and you're like, oh, this thing's trouble. There's an alien reveal, and then it freaks you out because you have to go to a certain place to get a certain thing, and it's like just poking around there and looking, and you're like, how do I get rid of him?
That's awesome. Now
you gotta improvise a little bit.
Yeah, I'm totally excited to try this out. It seems like it takes, what you love about those original Alien movies, particularly the first one, as you said, but also the just not giving you a gun. And now, you get like some certain weapons in this. Is that correct?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I've got a gun, but you use these things pretty rarely.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like that.
You get a whole achievement if you even fire your gun. You're like, hey, you've actually used your gun. I'm like, all right.
But you remember back in the day where like Silent Hill days where you were limited on ammo. Maybe you got a pipe and you just felt sort of useless. I think that's what I'm getting out of this. So.
And that's a powerful way to do suspense in games, is to make you kind of powerless or to give you a hard time being mobile and moving in the space that you're existing in. So at least that's what I think. Jam could probably weigh in much better on that. Because he was he's been a designer and a tester.
You're best friends with aliens, aren't you, Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's worked on an Alien game. I mean...
I have, yes. Not a very well received Alien game, but I have indeed played a decent amount of Alien vs Predator, which came out a couple of years ago. That game had so much stuff going on in terms of predators and aliens just all over the place that there was no real horror to it. And plus, you could play as the aliens as the predator, so a very, very different game. So it's cool that they're taking Sega are continuing to take a stab at the Alien license. And it sounds like they're doing it a much more effective way than trying to recreate. Because up until now, basically every Alien game has been trying to recreate Aliens, the second one, rather than the first one. So it's cool that a different team is taking a very different approach to this. And
of all teams, it's Creative Assembly.
Yeah, which is weird because Creative Assembly have this odd tendency to just take on stuff that you would not expect them to be good at. It's strange. It's like they do Total War and then off-the-wall stuff like this. Or Space Marine a couple of years ago. That kind of thing. It's strange, but they seem to be pretty good at this sort of action combat stuff.
Oh, man. What I wouldn't give for another Space Marine game.
Oh, it was good, man.
Space Marines. I've still not played that game. I need to get on that.
Get on that.
It's really good. You'll really enjoy it. Highly recommend it.
Awesome. Well, I am stoked. Maybe... I'm looking at the Working Joe pictures, and that could be a pretty awesome cosplay. The Working Joe.
They can be a little spooky.
Spoopy.
They're a little scary. Because they have these things called, in the Alien movies, the androids are meant to look as human as possible. There's this company that's kind of releasing budget androids, and they say, basically, people get kind of freaked out around androids, so we made ours really obvious, so you'll know what's an android and what's not. And they're just like lights behind their eyes and things like that, and you're like, oh.
Wonderful.
Okay.
That looks
very scary.
That looks terrifying.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Well,
very, very, very good game. I highly recommend it if you want something to make you jump.
It's only and surprisingly long, I've heard.
Yeah, I hear it's
20 hours.
20 hours.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. So
yeah, and I saw some reviewers saying as soon as I finished the game, I kind of felt relieved. Nightmare was over, but that's not in a bad way. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Good.
You're exhausted from pent up terror.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's keep moving. You and I, Sonny, you're getting me back into Payday. I was a little down. I started really high on this game because I really came off of last year's E3, just super excited about it. It's been so well supported with updates and DLC and content, and both paid and free. The latest one is the Payday 2 Hotline Miami collaboration. And yeah, you've been coaxing me back into Payday. Can you take me through some of the changes that I know this is a little technical, but just some of the things that they've done to change it over the last year to make it a little more accessible? Because my biggest problem with it was the grind was too slow. That being said, I've been spoiled by things like Diablo 3, but where is Payday 2 now compared to where it was, say, maybe even a year ago?
They have fixed the grind. It is much more forgiving. You get much more out of it, any mission that you do, which is great. They've added bunches of DLC, some free, some paid, and they are still sticking to the whole, if one person in your group bought it, everyone gets to play it kind of thing, which is nice. You know, you never have to worry about people getting kicked out of games, you know, that sort of thing. They've added lots of weapons, grenade launchers as well. And that sounds a little overpowered, but in reality, it's pretty dangerous using a grenade launcher around innocents. So, yeah, it could be a problem. Bunch of different melee weapons, just basically supporting the game and making it even bigger and bigger and bigger every single time. You can select your own contracts that you want to do for a small fee, and it really is a small fee. Locke and I were sitting in the lobby waiting for a particular contract to pop up and go, why don't I just buy it?
Yeah,
we'll just do it. And it was nearly nothing. And I said, sure. And we got to play what we wanted to play, and we were finally successful. Me and Locke had a real bad run.
I was feeling bad because I was getting frustrated because I couldn't help as much as I wanted to because I was a little underleveled. But at the same time, I was like getting caught in some of the jankiness of being spotted because I was sloppy, but then also not having enough awareness of my surroundings, of what cameras do. And so Sunny's kind of walking me through that, which has been good. And since we've been playing again the last couple weeks here, I've leveled up quite a bit. They've also added, or they changed there is no fee to respec anymore, which I think is really important because now I can experiment a little bit more with my builds, which I really like. Again, coming off Diablo 3 where you can switch your build around, I really like that. I like being versatile, and if you need to specialize for a mission, you can, but I'm sitting around level 50 now, so I do have some abilities that I can use. But yeah, just being able to respec I thought was really cool.
Unfortunately, the game is still lacking in one very important department, and that's anything that'll let you enjoy solo play a little bit.
Solo play is
if the AI could just pick up treasure. That's all you need.
If they were just mules, that would be it.
If you could command them to pick it up, just whatever, that would be really great. But, you know, what are you going to do?
And then
fun game. You can get it for dirt ass cheap all the time. So
yeah, it's always like $10 or less. What do you get in the what do we get in the Hotline Miami DLC?
New masks, new patterns, new things to hit people with, new mission.
There's a new heist, which is awesome.
The story behind it is that you have to shake down this guy called the Commissar. He's hiding, and in order to get him to reveal himself, you have to beat the hell out of everybody that he knows. And kind of in Hotline Miami,
I love it.
In the spirit of that, you are breaking into doors and killing people inside of rooms.
I love it. I'm going to get this because I love Hotline Miami.
So basically, you scare the hell out of him. He calls for help, and someone traces his phone, and then you find his house, and then you go get him. So that's the overview of what it is. But gosh, what a great game! Always fun. Always fun.
Nice, cool. Moving on, Jam. What have you been dabbling in? I know you've been busy moving and working.
Yep, yeah, it's mostly first week of work is always very busy, but I have found a little bit of time for game playing. Played through the first strike in Destiny, which was really cool. Like, that's an epic battle that took us because it's weird because most of the missions in Destiny only take about 15-20 minutes or so to complete, and then we were like, oh, we'll do this strike thing since we're at the right level for it now, and then it took us an hour.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a little bit unexpected, but it was really cool. And it's nice to have that sort of bigger, grander spectacle with multiple bosses and having to work together a lot more because they're a lot more difficult. So I really appreciated that they've put that stuff in there, and I'm looking forward to doing it more. But yeah, aside from that, just going through the story with Destiny and really enjoying it still. Like, the combat is excellent. The bounties add like an interesting extra dimension to it. It's like, they're almost like temporary achievements. It's like, okay, we need to get headshots on Fallen, so let's let's spec up that way. Let's use hand cannons and sniper rifles and just go for it.
Yeah.
Which I'm really enjoying.
And you get rewarded for it. Like, you get in-game rewards, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly, which is really nice. So the only other thing of note that I've really played is Ridiculous Fishing. And the reason that I've played Ridiculous Fishing, I know, like, Vlambier's not even latest game, is that... So this is a problem that I doubt very many people will have, that... I've moved regions. I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to live in Europe, and now I don't. And the various different stores and online presences that I have deal with this to varying degrees of success. And Google's it's okay. I can kind of understand the way they do it. Basically, they just use it or your primary payment method. So I had to wait. So basically, what you have to do if you're on Google Play and you want to change region, you have to put a credit card from that region that is your primary payment method, and then you have to buy something, and then the store flips over. So it's like you'll like pay for it in pounds, but then it'll actually show up in dollars, and then everything else will be in dollars, and it'll flip over the content, that kind of thing. And I needed that to happen for various reasons, because I've got new bank accounts and stuff, and I need to download the apps for those and all that kind of thing. So as a result, I picked up Ridiculous Fishing, because basically I went into my wish list and I was like, what's cheap? What can I get? And that was kind of top of the list, and I've been really enjoying it. Like, that is a really stupid game, but it's really fun.
It's one of the best mobile games ever. Like, just hands down, one of the best.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's so good. In fact, that Marina saw me playing it, and then she immediately downloaded it on her iPhone. So that was cool.
Vlambeer, a great developer. The last one they did, I know Sonny, you're a big fan of, was Nuclear Throne.
Yeah, I still like it. I don't even think that's come out yet.
Yeah, I think that's still coming out. Yeah, I was referring to Luftrausers because the most previous one. Yeah,
oh yeah, that's right. Luftrausers. Jeez, I didn't even
realize Nuclear Throne was them.
Yeah, I'm still big on the Nuclear Throne. Luftrausers, again, that's great on almost any platform. Like, playing it on the Vita is amazing, and PC is great too. Soundtrack, unreal. Their soundtracks are always great. So awesome. How was work? How is work?
Work is really good. I don't know how much people know about the Facebook onboarding process, which is probably not a lot, but I can't tell you very much about what I'm doing or that kind of thing, but it's a really good environment to learn in, especially in your first weeks, because they are very keen on getting you up to speed with all of the different processes they have. And having worked at different developers in the past, it's kind of amazing to see such a mature pipeline for work, and how, because I mean, Facebook's motto, or one of the things they become famous for, is move fast and break things, and it's really fascinating to see how that stuff actually works in practice, because I've checked something in to Facebook already. It's not live yet, but it will be at some point. And it's my first week, and that's insane. Like, you don't do that usually, but because the system is so good, and because there are so many checks and balances in there to make sure it goes, it means that someone in their first week can have an impact, if only a very tiny impact.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's really cool, and it's very rewarding, because it's one of the best. Like, with programming, one of the best ways of learning is to do it. Like, you can do as many hypothetical exercises as you want, but at the end of the day, the best way of learning your workflow is to do your workflow, and that's like one of the major strengths. And we had a lot of talks about the culture and the Facebook's mission and that kind of thing, and it's just been really, really interesting, and a great week for meeting people, because like a lot of people join Facebook each week, and so they very much encourage you to meet the other people in your class and in the who are already at the company. So yeah, that's been really good. And I've been enjoying a lot of free food as well. That's been very nice.
That helps. That always helps. Yeah. The getting to there and not having to worry about meals and that sort of thing. But anyways, that's great.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
I'm excited that you're already ingrained there, and I want to see. I don't know. I know you can't talk a lot about it. Are you working on the back end stuff mostly, or like?
So
secret projects?
I haven't been embedded into my proper. No, Exactly. So I haven't been embedded into my team yet. That will happen sort of a couple of months down the line. At the moment, I'm going through. I think this is public knowledge. I'm going through what they call boot camp,
Yes.
which basically is it teaches you the workflow and gives you exposure to the different parts of the business, so you can figure out where best suits you. And so the work that I'm doing is, or could potentially be in any part of the code base, including like tools and back end stuff and front end stuff. So yeah, it's going to kind of be all over the place.
Oh man, that's awesome. Wicked.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing
Come on
more stories,
Up.
Yeah.
and curious to see what lunchtime antics you get into, because I'm sure a campus like that is conducive to things like whether it's foosball or Counter-Strike or Hearthstone. I don't know. It'll be awesome. So maybe
Yeah,
even
it's-
hacky sack and frisbee. Who knows? Hey. I dipped into Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. That's a game that plays a lot like Borderlands.
Yeah, I was about to
That's
say, is there any real
shocking.
reason for this to exist?
Yeah, yes and no.
There is?
I mean,
Okay.
for people that don't, I don't know, for people that don't like Destiny, I'm sure they'll be like right at home with Borderlands, because there's a certain type of feel.
It's a tried and true method.
Yeah, it is a tried and true method. And the only things that they've changed in this is because you're on the moon, the setting is in the moon, inside. You're on the moon. That wizard came from the moon. You have low gravity, which is cool, and you have a double jump because you have like an oxygen booster. That being said, when you were out and about, wandering around doing missions, that sort of thing, you also have to deal with your oxygen getting low. So you have to go to these
Right.
different points and get refills. And that is more of a hindrance than anything. It doesn't I'm not like, oh, sweet, we have to like plan out this special route. But no, it's just like, I got to go find this bubble of air that I can suck in. So, but yeah,
it's a weird restriction to put on top of a formula that has already worked so well. It's
Yeah.
like usually when games go forward, they remove things like that. Like if you think about the original Pikmin, which had its time limit, and then Pikmin 2 removed it.
I mean, they have new classes. So the four classes are, there's a gladiator girl who has like a Captain America shield, which I'm sure HP will love. There's Wilhelm, who is this like your tried and true.
I remember that fool.
Yeah, he's like your tried and true warrior sort of guy.
Didn't you kill him in Borderlands 2?
Probably.
I believe you did.
Yeah, I think you're right, because this is a pre-sequel, sorry.
I mean, that's how it's a pre-sequel.
Yeah, exactly. It also has Claptrap as one of the playable characters, and then
Wait, really?
yes,
Man, that's
he's
just going full out fan service.
and then I'm playing as the Lawbringer, who's a cowboy sort of sheriff, and my whole thing is being able to go into bullet time and knock off a bunch of pistols really quickly. So I like that.
How does that work in multiplayer?
Maybe I feel the same way as the guy who punches things in Borderlands 1. Did he do that in the second one? Maybe the second one where he went crazy.
The
and
second one.
I think it's
It
the second
slowed
one.
down.
Yeah, I have.
I'm not the biggest Borderlands fan. Like, I tolerate it. I think it's a fine shooter. I'll say this: it was hard for me to get to Borderlands 2. It was a bit
Yeah.
long, and I don't play for like. This one isn't my like loot grind game, whereas something like Diablo might be,
Right.
or even in this case Destiny. I am enjoying this. It's not a grind for me on Destiny because I'm just going in, doing a couple bounties, and hopping out. Whereas I know in previous Borderlands you like waited for a specific drop. But anyways, I'll play through it. I'm on the video review, so this is super early for me. But I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. But I'll report on that again probably one more time next week when I'm done with the game.
Sounds good. I'm real interested because I knew it was made or developed by a B team kind of thing, like outsourced in a
But
way. So I was
really,
curious if they left enough of it.
I'm sure they did. Like, how can you go wrong with Borderlands at this point, right? Like,
Yeah, it's true.
I
Just
don't
get
know.
that-
More Borderlands.
okay, fair
wrong.
enough, fair enough.
I'm pretty tired of it, to be honest. But
Well, I
I've also
know, yeah.
played it a lot. So
And again, I haven't played Borderlands 2 since it came out, so maybe there's that gap.
Really? Wow.
Maybe there's like I didn't play any of the DLC, and again, Borderlands, one of those very well supported games with a full like they're already selling the season pass for this, so it's going to have a pseudo tale like a year later on. But again, I'm not one for like ho ho jokey humor, claptrap, in your face, fun zerker jerk off guns. Like I am more tolerable to, or I prefer something like space opera, Mass Effect, Destiny sort of thing, which is where my mind is at. So we'll see what kind of That's what my palate is like. We'll see what Borderlands puts in my mouth. Let's just leave it at that.
Although on that subject, the humor stuff in Destiny is just falling really flat for me.
Oh, it's terrible.
The little quips.
There was humor. I mean, all I hear are like kind of snarky remarks, and I'm like,
it's just Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, he's just like, why do all the places we go to have to be so dangerous? It's like, what? This is so out of place in this world
so
that you've created.
It's
really weird.
I was saying this to a friend. Like, I would have preferred. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with the show Cosmos?
Yes.
No.
I would prefer to have Neil deGrasse Tyson as the voice because he has that like perfect. Oh, space is interesting and cool and not snarky at all, like purely genuine. So he would be.
I'm a robot and I'm so tired of my life.
Yeah, exactly. He would be like Neil deGrasse Tyson in his Cosmos sort of persona. That's who he is. I know it's not a stage thing, but that is perfect because he's innocent and he's like just very well rounded and very well read. It would just be awesome to have him as an AI because he's just like matter of fact, and like this pseudo humor wouldn't get in the way. That was a perfect point. That snarkiness, like what the hell is that? You're an AI.
Yeah.
And apparently,
it's very strange. I feel like a large part of that is just the writing.
I have been playing the next sort of event, if you want to call it, which is the Iron Banner. And it is before it was the Queen's bounties, I think. Anyways, the Queen came. It was all PvE stuff. The Iron Banner it looks like Game of Thrones. Ned Stark is putting out a tournament basically, and because the symbol of the what do you call this? This is like an icon. Is like wolves and a big giant tree. So
okay.
Anyways, it's all PvP stuff, and the big thing for this is that the level advantages are enabled. Therefore, the people who have played more and have better gear have the advantage. So this is for hardcore PvP. That being said, I am not high level. Like I think I'm level 26. I guess that's relatively high in the grand scheme of things, but like most of the people in here are 26 to I'd say 29. Maybe I haven't seen a 30 yet, but I can still do well in this. So the advantage is I'm not getting blown out the water, so it's negligible, I would say. So I still have a chance. I'm not like at the top of the rankings, like I'm middle of the road. So, but I mostly just want the shaders to make your guy look cool. That's all I'm playing this for. And it's enjoyable. Like PvP is really fun, but I literally just want I don't care about better items. I just want the thing that makes you look cool. So
yeah, I understand.
I know I'm ridiculous that way. What else we got going on, boys? We talked about Alien, Destiny, Payday, Borderlands, ridiculous. Oh, Plague Inc. I wanted to talk about this during the horror game section, but take us into Plague Inc. because you mentioned it right before we started. Why is this so important on the PC as opposed to the iPad where I've been playing it?
Well, see, like it's nicer and it's more expensive. Like, here's what's up though: Steam Workshop. Let's get real.
Yes.
You can create your own diseases, and people have been really clever with that. For those who don't know about Plague Inc., you create a disease and you try to kill everyone on the planet. Real simple.
That's
not
awesome.
bad. But thanks to Steam Workshop, people have managed to get a little creative within the boundaries. They have a Cult of Cthulhu scenario where what is spreading are the beliefs of Cthulhu. and that's kind of the virus, and you have to convert everyone on Earth, and you create your own customized powers and things like that. There's another one that's called Knowledge is Power, where people figure out how magic works, and you try to spread the knowledge of magic, things like that. Yeah, it's really intense. Disco music, satanic music. Some people did a few of those. It's really,
excellent.
really interesting. They've managed to make scenarios where angels have come down from heaven and are starting to kill people, things like that. Just all sorts of crazy things. Religion, faith. Just looking through a few of these, and of course, Ebola's there, as you would expect.
Yeah.
But they've gotten real creative on how. Another one. This is really brilliant. Is they've got one called Social Network, where it basically takes over people.
Perfect.
Takes over people, consumes their lives, and once everybody's signed up, they've taken everything that they have to offer, and there's nothing left. So I think that's really clever, the way that they've managed to get things working in their engine to do these crazy scenarios that are really, really cool. And it's, like I said, it's a little bit more expensive than the iPad one, but there's a lot of things out there that you can do with it, and there's achievements, like hundreds of them, and tons of scenarios that even they made, not just the custom ones, but there's a lot to enjoy there.
Oh, yeah, I have to try this because I'm interested, because I played out most of the stuff from just the generic ones. I think there's 8 in the base game, so and it was fine. It was good. It's a good sort of time killer mobile game, because you don't do a ton. It's more of just like the sim sort of management stuff going on. But
and they also had a official add-on that was a tie-in with the new Planet of the Apes movie, where the simian virus, or whatever the hell that is, getting into people, and you actually controlled the apes and tried to take over the world. So that's pretty cool.
I lost Jam, unfortunately, but I'm sure his internet just died.
Oh, and there's also people who approach this from a very historical standpoint.
Okay.
Like here is the English sweat. It was an epidemic in Europe that was 1485 to 1551. It just like documents everything about this one disease that was in the past that eventually got eradicated, and now you get another chance to make it work. So
that's crazy. Steam Workshop, hey? I mean, the other thing, I know this isn't what we're talking about, but Tabletop Simulator with Steam Workshop is one of the most powerful tools ever. Like,
it is crazy.
It's insane. Like, there's board games in there. I could recreate my board game collection digitally, which is amazing. So
yeah.
Other than that, yeah, like I said, I've just been doing the Halloween horror stuff. Got reviews for Vanish. The Fall just got posted, or is going to get posted today. Darkwood, Nether, Lifeless Planet, Daylight. Nick did a Black Mesa review, which is the full port of Half-Life 1 with the new Source engine. Stuff coming up, we've got Metro Last Light, which we were talking about last night while we were playing. Cthulhu game, gonna have in there. A couple interesting ones, like The Gods Will Be Watching. I know you guys talked about that on Games Only podcast. It's not, again, this is I use the horror term very, very loosely. Because it'd be impossible to fill with just pure survival horror. But Gods Will Be Watching is more of sort of a thriller game. Especially, I'm mostly interested in it because I think it's hard to get those feelings of dread, horror, thrillers, that sort of thing in an adventure game, that's what that game is. So, have you played that at all? I can't remember if you did or if it was just Doc.
That's a negatory. Not me.
Yeah. So, anyways. Other than that, really, I haven't been doing much else. Just lots of video editing, a little bit of Dota 2. I have to check out the Dark Souls 2, the last piece of DLC for PC there. The Crown of the Ivory King, which sends you to a familiar land for me, which is it's an area covered in snow. So I'll be right at home there. I'm okay with that. So. How long are we running here, boys? 35 minutes, not bad.
Yeah.
Jam, you okay? You back? We lost you for a sec.
I'm back. Yeah. You would think, be like out here in the boonies of Mountain View, California, I would have good internet, but apparently not.
Sonny took us through Plague on the PC, just going through the workshop stuff, and I just wanted to touch upon a couple things. Favorite horror game. We don't have to go too deep into it, but just favorite game. Why? If you have a couple to rattle off, mine. I'll start. Mine is Silent Hill 2. I don't know why. I think it might have been one of the first games that I did the pass and play with a friend, so that pseudo co-op on a couch.
Yep.
I couldn't. I put the controller down when Pyramid Head started rolling around. Too scary. So I was like, no, man, you play. And then he'd play for a little bit. He'd be like, okay, I'm done. And you walk into a room and there's like people being hung or some weird vision of people being hung. It was just visually stunning and just super creepy. It was that weird creepy. It wasn't jump scares. It was the psychological atmospheric creepy, which that's my preference. That's what I love in a horror game. How about you guys? Sonny, I know you played a couple horror games in your time. You, again, talking to you about this stuff is really difficult because you don't get scared about stuff like this.
I get plenty scared.
Well, fair enough.
I just never show it. After Condemned, everything really feels like
yes.
That was the scariest, but certainly I don't think it was my favorite. I've been having my roommate Claire play through it.
Okay.
And while it is still terrifying, as you would expect, there's some real design issues with that game that were easy to overlook because you were so damn scared the first time. And that game's got a lot of wandering where you don't know exactly where to go, and it's not really tense. It's one of those frustrating ones where you know all the enemies are dead, you just can't find the right trigger. There's a bunch of that.
Yeah.
The first time through, you don't really notice that sort of thing so much, but on repeated viewings, like I'm doing right now, it's like, yeah. But something recently that I've been playing that I really did enjoy was Metro Last Light. It's not really a horror game, so to speak.
No.
I mean, there's monsters and there's radiation, but there's some really tense moments in that, and I really enjoyed a lot of what they were doing in that game. Their whole world building that they did was really, really pretty and special. I liked a lot about Metro.
Those are really excellent games. Yeah. I've played Metro 2033, and it's not a particularly scary game, but it does do a lot of very interesting things, including having that trade-off between ammunition and currency, because you can, towards the end of the game, I was so low on ammo that I'm like, I have to use these clean bullets. Otherwise I'm going to die. I need to shoot my money at the people.
Yeah, Metro is interesting because, like you said, it's not necessarily a horror game, but it has that just feeling of helplessness because, again, the ammo thing and not knowing what's out there. It has amazing sound and environment design. But yeah, do you guys know? Answer me this: do you know what the Last Light Redux is compared to
the redo?
Is it just a redo? Because Last Light came out, and did they already redo it?
I don't think Last Light had much adjustment. It's more of
it was exactly. It was a combo pack with 2033 for next gen consoles, because that was kind of the main thing, because they come out on PC. I think they came out on previous gen stuff, and this was just like here's the higher res version for the consoles.
Awesome. Jam, scary games. I mean, as you know, I don't play a huge number of scary games, so the ones that are coming to mind are not that scary. I mean, Eternal Darkness is one I always go back to. That's such a fantastic game. Really underappreciated, and so hopefully I feel like the Kickstarter for the game was spiritually similar. Has that gone anywhere? I can't even remember now. So much weird stuff has happened with Silicon.
Yeah, I don't know. It may have been cancelled. I don't have any idea.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember because
so many of them.
I want to say Pillars of Eternity, but that's a different game. Pillars of Eternity is Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, the RPG stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't remember, but so much weird stuff has happened with Silicon Knights over the years that it's. Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it is a fantastic game in and of itself. Unfortunate that it is only available on GameCube, because it would be really cool to have
that's one of the few GameCube
just
games.
A remake of it.
Yeah, it's one of the few GameCube games I actually own.
I
probably own about a dozen, most of them being stupid stuff like Super Mario Strikers and Mario Tennis.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool. Well, boys, I did get to check out an Oculus this week, and this was the.
I saw that great picture of you.
Yes, that was wonderful. That was me in my new life. So, Oculus. It's the Dev Kit 2. One of my friends had it, and I played Half-Life 2 on it, which was surprisingly awesome. And once you play for a couple minutes, you get the hang of the controls and sort of separating your head from your arm, instead of just having your eyes be your gun sight. Yeah, Half-Life 2 was amazing. And then I played a bunch of the tech demos. Ones that stood out for me was even one called Tuscany, where you're just at this sort of house in Tuscany, and you're surrounded by an ocean. Birds are chirping, and water is rushing, and there's a fire crackling, and you kind of just wander around and take it all in. That was the one you started with to sort of get you in the mindset. Then I've tried a base jumping one, which was crazy because
Is that the one where you're jumping from the space station?
Yeah, you're at the top of the space station.
Yeah,
you're
I've done
jumping
that
to Earth, and
Yeah.
just I had shivers on the back of my neck because it felt so real. It was nuts. And tried a couple of amusement park rides, one that spun you around. There was a big swing that went in a huge sort of 360-degree circle vertically, which was pretty intense. Couple sort of space shooting games. There was one where you took a tour of the solar system, which was really interesting. But man, that technology is so clutch, and I'm really excited for people to get their hands on it. I'm excited for developers to keep developing cool things for it. I'm really looking forward to when it's available for consumers, because I didn't pre-order it. Sonny, did you pre-order one?
No.
I can't remember.
I could never really justify it, not yet, because I kept hearing, well, the next one's going to be really a lot better.
Yeah, like when I tried it,
don't wait.
the first time I tried it was it wasn't even a dev kit. It was like hockey or ski goggles strapped on with lenses and hockey tape. And then I just like looked around Doom 3. And then the one after that, which is the one that gave everyone pink eye at E3, that was the first development kit. I tried that with Hawken, which was, again, Hawken isn't the greatest example for that. It's like a Twitch shooter. I think this is more like getting an Oculus with Alien Isolation, I think, is like the ideal situation, because you're just in there, you're immersed. I think that would be so cool, because you're not necessarily you don't have to necessarily rely on control fidelity, but you do want to take in the environment. Like, the environment is first, and things like combat and control are second in a game like that. So to me, So yeah, I'm super excited for that. I'm like, again, I've liked where the Oculus has and where it's going. So I mean, I'm definitely getting one as soon as I can. So if I know, Sonny, you were looking at getting one, but I mean, it's so.
I should wait.
I mean, I'm wait for the consumer one, but I mean, it's so cool, dude. It's so interesting.
I'll be in line. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else I can say about it other than it was really neat. Like, people know what it is now. It's, again, the things that are going to come outside of gaming are just so crazy, and especially, Jam, with you, Facebook purchasing it. Like, I'm curious to see what they do on that side of things, sort of integrating it with other technologies. I think lots of cool things with medical you can do. My one friend, actually, their company had it because they use it for mining. So did you guys ever see Prometheus?
Yes.
And you remember the little things that he sent out to scan the mine? That's what they're doing with Oculus for his company. So they scan it, and they basically have a fully visualized map that they can walk around and measure things and be like, can we get a truck in here into this distance? So it's insane. It's insane. Also been playing around with a drone that I got, doing some drone filming. That's been exciting. Going to open up a lot of opportunities when it comes to cinematography on my end for my job. But again, just flying around a drone, a consumer grade one, it was really cool. Jam, I know I sent you the sort of test footage we did. You said it was like a bunch of angry bees flying at the camera.
Yeah, it's like you're flying around and there's a bunch of angry bees following you. So I assume you're going to be stripping up the audio.
Yeah,
somewhat.
the audio is quite loud, especially when the GoPro that I have mounted on it picks it up, and it's just like meh, incessant droning. But again, shutting the audio off, it looks quite beautiful. Get lots of cool cityscapes, and I'm interested to get pretty good with that. But let's wrap things up. Let's get on with our day. We've talked about a lot of things. Anything worth mentioning before we close out the show, boys?
Listen to Cold Necklace.
Yes, Cold Necklace providing all the audio for the Halloween horror reviews. A couple tracks on SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/Cold Necklace. Great.
It's the coldest necklace you'll ever put around your throat.
Some great Witch House tunes. I'm digging it. That's a pretty cool project you have going on, and what better timing than...
Thanks. I'm working really hard to get more material out. I heard early on that when it comes to making music, you're going to hate.
Yeah.
Just really hate almost everything you do, and right now I'm hating what I'm doing, so I'm trying to get something there. I knew it would happen. So.
And one thing, I don't know if we talked about this, Sonny, but I'm actually taking music production classes every Thursday, because I work with a local sound production and DJ studio, or school, sorry, it's a school. So you can go there and take basically a music production certificate. I'm doing their sort of the software I work in is Ableton. I have the hardware, which is the pad that I've sort of shown sometimes. I can show it on stream here quick. The little pad thing looks like a drum pad. But yeah, I've been taking that, and one of the instructor said a good way to sort of jam out on something is to limit yourself to 10 minutes, see what you can make in 10 minutes, and then just leave it. Save it, go to the next thing. Or even limit yourself to 5 minutes, see what you can make in 5 minutes. Save it, go to the next
try
thing.
that.
Come back to it once you have done do 5 or 6 of those in a row. Just work for like an hour. Do a couple of little things, see what happens. You might scrap half of them, but the other half might be a cool stem or a cool sort of melody or something that you can use. And the exercise we actually did in class was, okay, you have 5 minutes to make a beat or make a bass line or make something. And then what you're going to do is everyone's going to switch spots with their partner and then finish it for them. So
that's cool.
So I made this kind of sort of deep house techno grungy beat, and then I moved over, and my partner beside me, she had made like something totally different. So then I made this cool sort of synth riff for it. So, and then I came back to mine, and I was like, she took it in a direction that I didn't even think of going. So that kind of collaboration is really cool. Even just throwing something up on SoundCloud to get feedback is really cool. I know for me, I don't have a ton of stuff on my SoundCloud because you want it to be the best. You want it to be great. You want it to be finished. But I think that there's room for, even if you save a file and send it to somebody, send me something so I can like jam out on it and see what happens. But I don't know. That's kind of how I'm going to take my music production. I don't know what Cold Necklace's mantra is other than being the coldest.
Coldest thing that will ever wrap its fingers around your throat.
That's
the idea.
Sort of. I'm just sharing.
We convey the feeling of putting on a necklace that's very cold.
But those are just some of the things that I've been taking away from class. So maybe that's something to.
Yeah, I'll definitely
out.
explore some of those things, just because it's good to be creative and it's good to push yourself in different ways and impose restrictions.
Totally.
See how that works.
Yeah, totally. So cool. And Jam, you any closing thoughts?
No, that's it. I'm gonna be continuing to work at Facebook. We're making the world a better place.
Of course, the bookiest of faces.
The bookiest of faces.
Awesome. Well, this has been the Super Sunday Morning Friends Super Show for October 12th. On behalf of myself and my co-host Jam and Sunny, my name's Locke. You guys have a wonderful week. Go check out Cold Necklace. Go sign up for Facebook, like and post, and of course
we really need that groundswell.
And of course, please check out Halloween Horror. That's being posted on my YouTube as well as Gaming Alchemy, where you can find all of our content from here to the ends of the earth.
Also, the outro music will hopefully be a Cold Necklace track.
Yes, here it's coming in right now. Here it is.
All right. Thanks.
Yes,
it's not the dog.
It's the coldest of necklaces.
Not
all right,
these dogs. Look at these dogs.
Oh, look at them. They're podcast dogs. They're so happy. All right, we're out.
Bye.